Last night, I'd had it. I'm now done. I have to mentally check out of the Knicks, at least for a little bit. They're down 1,000,000 points in the first quarter. There is no hope for the Julius Randle injury. OG Anunoby's doing some basketball activities without contact. I know they fought. I know they came back a little bit, but Bogdanovich and Burks, it's not working outside of that one game with Bogdanovich hitting a bunch of threes. And now all hope has been sucked out of me with this team. All of it. And it happens with every team I root for. You get a taste, and then the second you start to believe, it gets ripped right out of you. Every time. The Mets a couple of years ago, the 101-win season, you believe they go down to Atlanta, get their asses kicked. And then the Padres come in, kick their ass again. Then the next year's a mess. The Minnesota Vikings have this 13-win season, and the New York Giants went in and beat their ass in a playoff game. And now the Knicks, after the Anunoby trade, are flying. Championship caliber. Nobody could beat them. And then everybody on the team gets hurt. They're going to be in the play-in. Why? Now, let's not even talk about the football teams that I don't root for around here. Well, the New York Jets. God damn. Think about being a Jet fan on top of all this. It's enough already. It's enough. Thank God for the Rangers, for God's sakes. We'll see if they do something. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah. Happy Feel Good Friday. You got us off to a flying start. Man, I feel really good. And I'm so excited today because I got my March, April edition of Baseball Digest. So while you're, pissing and moaning over there, I'm going to be over here reading about whip and war and, what I think my team is going to do this year.
Right, And the New
honestly,
York Mets, who are not even trying to win this year in
right,
2024.
all right.
Great, let's add them to the list.
Just please calm down for 5 seconds. Take a breath. Please, big breath. Come on, breathe in. Another one. All right, so
In through the nose, out through the mouth.
right, it actually sounds like you're pretty clear.
Yeah, man. I was inspired, too, by this congestion pricing
Oh, come
hearing
on.
yesterday.
What now?
I was inspired by that. People yelling and screaming, fighting for the rights of us commuters. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I saw somebody yelling there, and I was like, you know what?
That's the guy that should be like in the face of these athletes.
Exactly.
Yes, just like you started this show.
He needs to be this guy, Raul Rivera. He's got to go into that Knicks locker room, and he's got to deliver that speech. And he's got to say, OG Anunoby and Julius Randle, they might not walk through that door right now, but you're the guys that are healthy. You're the ones that have to do it. And Lucifer is waiting for you. You'll understand that reference in a little bit when we play this audio.
But I have to say, look, we were talking about the Knicks. We were talking about their next 6 games. We were talking about try to just stay around 500. So they've lost the first 2 of those next 6 games.
Yep.
And now comes a game at Cleveland on Sunday. Then they have Atlanta and Orlando and Philadelphia at home for the next 4 games after that. So, I mean, look, I don't know when Anunoby's going to come back, but these last 2 performances, if they're not hitting threes, they don't have a shot. And I think like they've transformed themselves into like a bomb squad.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Bogdanovich hit all those threes. The one game he played really good. They win that game. Obviously, he struggled last night. Didn't look like he was comfortable coming off the bench. And, I mean, there will be in that stretch that you're talking about, if you go all the way to let's just say the first game of the West Coast swing, all the way into mid-March, they will be favored in 2 of those games. That's it.
Now, listen,
Atlanta and Portland.
I know you come in here and you're angry this morning.
This is what I'm watching last night. 17-4.
I know.
I know they didn't lay down completely, and they did fight back and made a couple runs. I will give them credit for that. But when you're worried about your team, and we're talking about this couple days going in, how they need to have these games. They've got to keep themselves afloat. And then it's 17-4 at home, and you still got no positive update about Julius Randle?
All I can tell you is that you just got to hold on until the season is over. The Rangers went through this as well. They went through like a downturn, a little bit of a
Panarin and
swoon.
Zibanejad weren't hurt.
Yeah, I understand. But Shesterkin was not playing great. And, that was worrying everybody. And then all of a sudden, February comes around, everybody's healthy, and he starts playing the way that we all know that he can play. So, I understand your angst. I told you that this was going to happen. So I was
You didn't
prepared.
think they're going to lose like this, did you?
No, I didn't think it was going to be 17-4 at one point. But I will say that I don't see where they win another game until they at least get Anunoby back.
I know they'll beat Atlanta because Trae Young's not playing for. They'll beat Atlanta. They better beat. It's a home game against the Atlanta Hawks. Jalen Brunson's out there. They're winning that game. But they're Cleveland. I don't think they're beating. Orlando always kills them. Then they got the 2 games against Philadelphia, which I don't feel great about when they're not 100%. So yeah, I mean they are. And
then comes the West Coast swing. So they could have went to what? Did they get as high as 3 in the standings?
They might have for a little bit, but
now they may, because of these injuries and because of where they are and because of how close everybody is to each other.
They're a game and a half out of the 8 seed.
I know that.
Yeah,
and the Miami Heat are playing well.
Yeah, I think they lost.
And that's who in the 8 seed.
They lost to the Nuggets last night, but that's no surprise. But yeah, I mean, that's how packed in tight it is right there, and you've got all these other teams that are, when the Knicks were healthy, those other teams didn't scare me. I mean, even Miami, the way that they were playing early on, none of them scared me. Except for you think about if the Bucks got their crap together and the Celtics. Wasn't scared of the Cavs, wasn't scared of the 76ers without Embiid. The Magic have really had the Knicks number, but still, put them in a playoff series with a healthy Knicks team, forget it. The Knicks are going to be favored, they're going to win. Pacers, Heat, no, nothing. But now that they're about full strength, every one of those teams is better than they are.
I know, but these sports are not for the faint of heart. I don't know how many times I got to tell you that.
Yeah, I know, but I
can't. Got to suck it up and just deal with it, and then hopefully in about 2 to 3 weeks they'll find their game again. Like right now you could just see like they didn't shoot well last night, but you could just see how like they're all kind of looking around, waiting for somebody to do something. And even as good as Jalen Brunson is, I mean, he's got to have his wingmen. And those wingmen need to be there because then it extends the bench, and then all of a sudden you have a double wave of essentially 2 groups of starters.
Yes, and everything would be great if they were healthy, but they're not.
But they're not.
It's just amazing that injuries again. I mean, how many times, whether it's baseball or football with Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones and the Yankees and the Mets and Edwin Diaz and Aaron Judge and now Julius Randle and OG Anunoby. It's on and on and on.
So if you had an all-star team of injured players over let's just say the last 2 years, and you combined all the sports teams around here.
Oh, my God. It'd be the best players on every team outside of the hockey teams, right? I mean, so let's really break this down. Let's go back
break it down.
Let's go back to last year baseball season.
Feel Good Friday, baby. Feel Good Friday.
No. Listen, it will be a Feel Good Friday. I'll get into it, but I'm sorry. There's no positive spin with the Knicks right now. None. So if you go back to last baseball season, Edwin Diaz done before the season starts. Then Pete Alonso ends up getting hurt, and then he goes on this extended IL and then comes back, takes him a little while to get going, ends up having a good season. But still, those are 2 humongous stars. Justin Verlander started the season on the IL. Max Scherzer got hurt again. So you got all of those guys. Quintana, who they brought in, hurt, and it took him months to come back. All right, the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge missed a massive amount of time with a foot injury that really took the wind out of the sails for the Yankees completely, and they missed the playoffs. All right. The football season. Thank God there's football season. Aaron Rodgers, 4 plays in, Achilles, done. Daniel Jones, after a $40 million contract, out for the year. Saquon Barkley, who's complaining about a contract, he's out for 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, it's nuts. And now you're here, and you got the Knicks. Okay, Jalen Brunson misses a game here or there. Thank God he's been relatively healthy. Julius Randle may not come back. OG Anunoby comes in. Oh, the roster's perfect. What a great trade. He gets surgery. It's crazy. So outside of the hockey teams where you look at the best players on those teams, whether it be, Panarin or Zibanejad or Jack Hughes or Bo Horvat, Matt Barzal, the goaltenders, Sorokin and Shesterkin, those are the only teams that stay healthy. Think about it.
Well, the Devils have had some injuries.
But they're all right. But okay.
All right.
You understand my point,
Yeah,
right?
I understand your point, but I know you're trying to, ruin our Feel Good Friday with this negativity.
I'm not
It's just
trying to ruin it.
unbelievable, man. I'm telling you, you came in here. I know I didn't even talk to you before the show, and I had a feeling. I was thinking about texting you last night
I'm not trying.
when the Knicks were at 17-4, and I was like, you know what? If I start texting him now, I'll be texting all night long, and I like to put the phone down.
Yeah.
And I was not going to get into it. I wanted to yell at Wally too, but I decided not to.
Yeah. Listen, I will come back. I will slowly ease my way from where I am now into a good place, because I always talk about that Friday, leaving work after a great week. We've had a really fun week, different things going on. The dogs were here, the Schwartzes were here. It was just really a good week. Ended up playing golf twice. It's been a great week.
Yes, it has.
So,
been.
I needed to lance the boil here this morning, get it out of me. And then I could slowly build myself back up, because I've said many times, that Friday happy hour with your friends at like a 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Nothing beats it.
Oh, that first sip of alcohol, couple laughs. I mean, I have it perfectly. Yeah, perfect. 2 o'clock. Yeah. I got a 2 to 4 spot. You go out, you laugh with your friends, you go back home, you're home with your family for dinner for the rest of the night, and everything is phenomenal. There's nothing better than that.
How come I get mean, Gio?
I told you I needed to get it out of me.
Your friends get nice and fun, Gio, and I get mean, Gio.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because if I held in my annoyance about what happened last night, then I wouldn't be fun, Gio, for the rest of the day or the rest of the show.
Okay.
I would just be, how people they bury their emotions and it comes out in unhealthy ways? Well, I just had to get it out of me.
All right, so you have your emotions out there now. They're raw. They're emotional.
Yes.
They tend to be negative. Though there's a little anger in there.
Is it negative or is it realistic? I was thinking about these injuries last night. Why us? Can somebody stay healthy? And you can make a case that these are if you pick the worst players to get hurt outside of Jalen Brunson, the worst players to get hurt, the 2 quarterbacks, the MVP. The best closer in baseball, the best hitter on the team.
Yeah, I know.
It's insane.
It is insane.
It's insane.
I'm telling you, man. We got to get through the season. You know that. They just got to hang in there. They got to hang in there as best they can. They got the one thing you got to stay away from in the NBA, in my humble estimation, is you got to stay away from those 3-game losing streaks, because now 3 turns into 4, 4 turns into 5, 5 turns into 6. There's a malaise that takes over. There's a lack of confidence. There's poor shot selection. The coach is trying to mix and match different people to play together, and all of a sudden, things start going haywire, and then you start dropping like a hot rock. So I don't know what to tell you, other than after watching that performance last night, that this is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
I think we need to start feeding the athletes in this town the farmer's dog. That's what I think. Get them healthy, get them strong, extend their lives. That's really what I think needs to happen.
My God.
Is there? I know that we have more teams here and a lot of stars because it is New York. But can find me another city that has this many high-profile injuries that have derailed seasons over the last couple of years? You can't.
Well, I mean, the Aaron Rodgers one was like that. That's
the number one.
That is about as bad as at least Vinny Testaverde played like a half, didn't he?
I forget exactly when that happened. But
the first series on the 4th play or the 3rd play, whatever.
There was maybe I don't remember. Maybe the 5th play, the 4th play, whatever. He was done. That was it. Sat there on his butt, and it was over. And even if you are a fan of the Mets or the Yankees and things are going well, you're just waiting for another injury. That's what you're waiting for, especially in baseball. I mean, what I didn't mention was, all right, the Mets don't go out and have a great offseason, but they got some players. Kodai Senga had a really good first year.
Here we go. He
comes back, bang, he's got capsule injury in his sholler. I mean, it's sick. It's borderline sickening how many injuries that the New York athletes have had.
And that's why you're into this guy that went in front of the congestion pricing hearing yesterday, because that guy let it out and let it go.
Yeah. I think we should do that. I think we should do that at 6:45.
thinking that we have a lot of commuters in the car at that time.
Yeah, and I want more time to talk about him because we're getting close to the break here, and I believe it's Raul Rivera. I want to give him the proper time and respect to really play his. And I think there's one word that needs to be bleeped out as well.
You do know that these hearings don't mean anything.
It meant something to me.
I know that. It meant something to me, too, when you showed me. But I'm just saying.
It's not going to change anything.
It's not. They're already putting up all the electronics and everything. This thing is just it's a joke. It's basically they're saying, look, man, it's coming whether you like it or not. The black hole of the MTA needs to be filled.
In my 40s now, I'm trying to be more mature, more of an adult.
I could tell.
Do these things. So I'm gonna use this as a teaching point for myself, because I had not every day you're gonna get good news, not every day. And on a feel good Friday, you got to fight through it, just like the Knicks have to fight through the injuries.
We got to find some good news. Yes.
So yesterday, there's legs and arms strewn about Suffolk County.
That's good.
Disembodied limbs. So I got that. Then I turn on the Knick game. They can't compete because everybody's hurt.
Okay.
Then I see this congestion pricing thing. Even though we got a hero in Raul Rivera, there's other people going, hey, there's too many people in the crosswalk. I'm trying to walk my Shih Tzu and I can't do it. And then I wake up, I get in the car. I got CeeLo doing the overnight, the Go Buchanan Go guys on there for 4 minutes straight. Just talking and talking and talking.
So if you're CeeLo, you're sitting in, just let the guy go, man.
Yeah, but that
eat up some time.
He's calling. He says that Al is one of the Smothers brothers. He said that, and he's like, and he knows that I know. He knows that I'm listening, and I know it's him because then he references me too. Like 2 minutes into the call, he's like, Gio's probably going crazy right now, and I was, and I'm texting CeeLo like, this is the Buchanan guy. Get him off! Get him off!
You shouldn't be texting and driving.
You do the voice thing.
Oh,
Buchanan. That's what I did. I just went like this. Buchanan. Then send it to CeeLo.
That's amazing that guy would know that you are in the car listening, and he's just trying to get underneath your skin.
And it worked.
And then now I understand what went on this morning on your way in and just how annoyed you were. And then on top of everything that's been going on with the Knicks and the injuries, and then this is what I get.
You got to fight through it.
To deal with.
So,
well, you have to fight through it.
So that's what I'm saying. And I'm fighting through it. So here's a couple positive things. I've gotten that out of my system. We're turning the page.
Okay.
Yesterday's yesterday.
Nice.
The commute in with the Buchanan guy, that's in the past. It's all in the past.
Good.
The windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror.
Yes, it is.
And February is over.
Right? We are now in the Ides of March.
We are out of the worst month of the year. It was a leap year, so we had an extra day.
Which is a whole
godforsaken month. And we even had we were out of here for a long time, 8 days, but it still felt like February was like 3 months, and we weren't even here the entire time. But February sucks in the past. Now we're March. At the end of this month, baseball, and then April and March Madness and everything else. So we are right there. We're knocking on knocking on the door.
At the end of the month, baseball, man.
That's right. Why do they still send us these magazines?
Oh, I love these magazines.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You are so full of it. You do.
What do you mean?
You Baseball Digest. You're thumbing through.
Well, it's either this or Evan's new book.
Oh yeah, I'm happy for Evan. I hope he sells a ton of books, makes some money. He's dyeing his beard now and shaving half of it to get out of his bet.
What?
Yeah, I heard that.
They can't do that.
He says
no.
He said a way to get out of the bet was he thought it was a fair trade. They negotiated it with everybody on the show that if he dyed his beard a different color for 15 straight shows, so 3 weeks of shows, and then on opening day shaved half of his beard off and had a half beard, half regular face, and went to Mets games and went to opening day like that would allow him to get out of the bet.
Oh, real? Well, that is pretty significant because he looks ridiculous now. I mean, he would really look ridiculous then.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do think there is one of his books in their studio, Al. If you wouldn't mind just picking it up for me, I'll peruse it during the break and see. I know the book is about baseball, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's about him. It's all the games that he scored. over the years, like his favorite games that he scored and the memories and the stories behind it. So you have the game in there, the him scoring it, and then the story behind it. For example, he called me last year to get some details about a game that we saw, me, Joe, and Evan, in L.A., and he wanted to make sure the details were right.
Oh, okay.
About like an earthquake and all this other stuff.
What's up?
And the weed smoking.
There's no pictures. Like in the middle, how you put pictures?
There's no photo break?
There's no photo break or nothing?
That's a lot of words.
There's a lot of words.
A lot
It's
of
big
words.
book. But you know he does have, instead of pictures, he's got his score sheets.
He's got them. They put them in there.
So instead of the pitches, he's got some score sheets for you.
Yeah.
You could have done both. You could have had a section in the middle with glossies of Evan at Mets games.
My Mets Bible by Evan Roberts.
Yeah. So this is a good time to announce my book, How the Mets Ruined My Life.
You have your score sheets.
No, they burned them all in a bonfire.
Good for Evan, man.
No, I think it's great.
I mean, the thing's heavy. Feel
I
how
think
heavy that book is.
Yeah, I know. I got to find that one game that. Oh, look, there's curses in here. Are you effing kidding me?
Okay.
Look at that. Evan. Oh, there you go. I opened it right up to that page. There's my name. The Ryan Church game. Greg Giannotti. I'm in the book. Let's go. There you go.
There
I have to go back and read that. I'll see if he actually went for the truth of that day. Because I told him, go for the truth. It's fine. Go for it.
I know we usually don't book authors, but do you think that? Nah, let's not do that.
Well, we'll think about it. We'll see.
I mean, I feel like I'm promoting the book as it is right now.
Yeah. We could have him on, talk about that experience that we had. I think that was a good. I got to see how he wrote about it. I'm curious.
Plus, we could ask him, like, what do you get paid for that?
Yeah, so I guess there's like an upfront fee or whatever that you get. I don't know why I did that.
Then he's got to go like the bookstores. He's got to go sign the book and stuff, and he's got to do some promotional tours.
And then it's based on sales and all that.
Yeah.
So, and you could be like a there's so many subcategories of books now. You could be a number one book so easily. Like it'll be number one Mets book written by a redhead. Like they'll have that, and it'll be like,
well,
they'll put that out there.
On the back of the book, I realized that each scorecard not only told a baseball story, but also explained the story of my life.
I'm a loser.
Hey, come on, Eddie.
Yeah, not nice. I'm actually excited for him. It looks good. It looks better than I thought it was going to be like a flimsy like paperback thing.
Right.
He's actually got a hardcover.
Says, laugh with me, cry with me, and wonder what the hell is wrong with me. As we take a trip through my life, viewed through the lens of scoring Mets games. It's actually kind of interesting.
It is. I mean, yeah, for a hardcore Mets fan, for sure. I'm interested because I had lived one of those experiences, so I want to go and I want to read because I remember having this conversation. He was asking me, "Is it okay? Do you think if I put this part of the story in there that it would be all right?" And I was like, "It's fine with me." Ask Joe, whatever. I don't care. That was 2009. What am I?
What do you care? The Chase Utley game.